Hello, Nicci.
Hello.
Nicci Lotz, right?
That's right.
Okay, wife of Trey.
Yes.
Trey, the auditor.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Tell us, please, when, why, and how did you get into Scientology?
September 1975 in Boulder, Colorado at the Mission. I actually read the How to Choose Your People book, and I really liked it. And I went to the bookstore to get a copy, and they said, well, they sell that at the Scientology place, and I had never heard of it. They wrote it down. I went to get a copy of the book there, and the guy said, oh, well, if you like that book, you probably like the Dianetics book, and you probably like our comm course, because I was, at the time, working on a helpline at University of Colorado, and I was working with juvenile delinquent kids. He said this communications course would help with what I was doing. And so I did that communications course at the Mission, and it was a very good, thorough communications course, and my life instantly improved, and people who called me at the helpline just all of a sudden felt better for talking to me just from doing this communications course. And so it just immediately helped in what I was doing. I shortly thereafter joined staff, and then the Sea Org and so forth. I just, it was just, I just dove into it. I loved it.
Okay. And how long? And how long did you stay on staff?
Well, at the Mission for about a year. I joined the Sea Org at Flag in April of '77, and I was there until January of 1980. And then I came to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, 1981, right, to January of 1981, and then I came to LA.
Okay, and what was your post?
Well, first I was a survey officer in the Flag Bureau, and then I was course supervisor in the International Training Org for staff, and then for outer org tech trainees. And my last post was COITO's communicator, and Barbara Tompkins was CO.
Okay. Okay, and can you compare how the Sea Org was earlier years and how was it last years you were there?
Well, actually, my favorite post was my last one for Barbara Tompkins. She was tech trained. Barbara Tompkins was tech trained and admin trained, and she ran things very standardly. And if a statistic was down, she would order that a debug be done. And she would have the person find the correct reason the statistic was down and get it up. And our organization was the top organization of the Flag Land Base at that time. And OT things would happen. It was run when the organization is run exactly per policy, and with people who are tech trained. OT things happen. It's just beautiful, and it happened that way at that time under her. And so as a result of that, I decided the best administrators are those who are both highly tech and admin trained and up the bridge. And when it's done right, it's actually beautiful. I think the things that people don't like is when it's not done correctly.
Yeah, course. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So what made you to leave the church?
Well, that's a whole story in itself. I don't. Well, I don't know if we want to get into that here.
Yeah, we want to get into that.
We do want to get into that. Okay. Well, my family objected to me being away so much on staff, and they hired someone who was an ex-Sea Org member to talk to me about leaving. So when I visited them at Christmas, I talked to this guy. Now, I knew he was a deprogrammer. They thought he was just someone who was going to talk some sense into me. So I went back to Flag, and the GO routed me out. I thought, well, they said go back to your parents' house. I thought, well, isn't that odd? There's the deprogrammer back there. And so I talked him into flying me out to Los Angeles, and then I was in comm with the GO out here. And a few months later, this deprogrammer, whose name was Ford Schwartz, he used to be a reg at ASHO, he wrote my parents and I a letter saying that he was acting as a GO double agent, and I was a pawn in the game, and he needed a statistic, so I was his deprogrammee. So, but nobody told me about it. So I was trying to figure out, well, what am I doing to pull all this in, and why aren't things resolving? Unbeknownst to me, he was needing a statistic to get in with the deprogrammers and Paulette Cooper and those people up in San Francisco. And so then I found out what happened, and that's how I got out. Now, meanwhile, it was rough. I mean, it was rough. It was rough after that. I probably got 4 hours sleep a night. I had no money, and it was, but I survived that. And the person who really helped me, well, actually, I ran into Steve Muro, who's here tonight, and he did ethics conditions in the field, and that's what got me through, is the ethics conditions. I did them because my life really depended on it, and I thoroughly did them, and it was magical. It was amazing. My whole life improved according to what condition I was in. And I think, well, what do I do now? Oh, well, how about the formula of the next condition? And then things would magically turn around. And I did these ethics conditions, and I had so many wins. I started doing them on other people. I was working with Steve. And then I became a book one auditor as well. And when I thought, well, these conditions work pretty well on the first dynamic, I'll do them on the second dynamic.